And welcome back. I said more interviews were coming. This is IMRC preseason interviews with Michael Norman, now being joined by uh, the previous IMRC Season 7 champion, Mr. Dillon Poteet of Team SB Racing. Dillon, thank you for joining me here today.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
So, I'm going to jump right into it. Season 7 champion, can't get any better than that. So, this first question might be a little bit of a easy one for you, and that's what are your expectations for IMRC Season 8?
Well, obviously a lot happened this past season. It was my first full season, and like I said, winning the championship was the main goal, and to come out on top like that was definitely a shot in the arm for sure. I mean, going into this, I'm still debating about if I'm running full time. That's still always a question, just about availability. But I mean, the goal, like I said, is try to be here as much as I can. Try to get a win, especially early in the season. That way, you kind of can prepare yourself more a little bit for the playoffs and everything. So the first few weeks, I think, are definitely going to be crucial. And like I said, just it's going to come down to me making the start, the count and everything to be eligible. So um, just the first few weeks, I'm definitely going to be focusing on a lot. Like I said, just try to get myself in position to try to be back where I was this past season. And like I said, it's going to be a tall task to get back to what I did this season. Still kind of in that shock feel about winning the championship. So I'm still like enjoying that as I can. So like I said, just early things I need to work on. Like I said, just try to be here, try to get a win early on, and try to be back in playoff contention like it was this season.
All right. Now, then the second question is, what do you expect out of your team for Season 8?
Well, definitely we had a up and down season, our first one together with the four-car team we had. Um, I'm hoping for the most part, one, that we can have more of us here more often. We seem like we had a lot of races where one or two of us may not be here. Um, like I said, just seeing if we can work together on certain races, like the plate races especially. That's a golden opportunity to help one of us, make the playoffs. That's a really good place for us to actually work together as much as we can, unlike other tracks. But just kind of working together as a team, we can always prove on that. And now we got the satellite team, so that gives us a little bit, couple more
Oh,
people we can work with, and some of those like plate races and just in general like information about like some of the setups and whatnot on any of the tracks.
all right.
So
Continue.
I was just saying, like I said, just it should be good. Just like I said, with having extra people, definitely. I expect us to have a good season, though. I think we're all being contention to make the playoffs. Like I said, just have some luck on our side. Maybe, like I said, we can try to get some wins for a few of us, if not all of us, at some point. So, um, like I said, the goal definitely always is to try to get everybody in the playoffs. We were lucky enough last year. Me, Will, and Shane all got in, but we all mainly ran. I know Eric wanted to run more, but he wasn't able to. So, if it's a goal that we could actually reach, I'd say I'd like to at least get the main team all in there. Like I said, I know you and Natan we're both going to be racing as well. So I mean, perfect world would be all six of us get in, but I know there's a lot of
Yeah,
hungry
imagine
drivers
that
out
one.
there, and there's not a lot of places for us all to be in. So as much as we can get in the playoffs would be great.
Imagine if we could all get at least a win somewhere in the season. You
Right.
know, especially with if Schwallenberg's cutting back on races, so we might all have more of a chance.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, there was a lot of new people that came in, including myself. I think now that we got a season under our belt, I think a lot of drivers are gonna have more confidence going to a lot of these tracks again. They probably have learned some stuff from their first trip there, and then it's definitely the veterans that have been here for a while at IMRC. So I expect them to be a lot of different winners this season compared to last season, because it was kind of strange how we only had a handful of winners all season long. But I expect a lot of these guys that are really hungry for a win to come back and really come out with a bang. So I think there's going to be definitely more winners this season than last season. I think that's going to make it a little bit more competitive. I just feel like there's a lot of hungry drivers coming into this season, so I expect a lot of turnover for this season. Uh, for a lot of different faces going to be up there at the top, so it should be fun.
I think so too. Now, for the final question here is Even with Shane just now releasing the schedule for season 8, what do you think of the possible and potential changes coming to IMRC for season 8?
Um, it's always good to have a little bit of change, like I said, to kind of keep it relevant, kind of keep us all thinking about what the new places would be. There's still a handful that we were going to that we're going back to again. So those, like I said, kind of look back in the back of your mind about how they were and how we ran them. But these new tracks, these are like wild cards for us. So it's definitely going to make things a little bit more interesting. Um, but uh, like I said, wild cards is definitely the word for it. Like I said, a lot of these drivers, including myself, may not even have the experience with it. Even just last season alone, I can name off like a handful of tracks that I barely had any experience with, and it really showed during the process. Like I said, I think it'll be good. We may see some like faces that we didn't expect to be there to be, really competitive and even maybe dominating a race at one of the tracks that we're not very familiar with. So I like the diversity, the changes, and then keeping, like I said, a good blend of what we've been running in the past. So uh, I think it's gonna be a good matchup. I liked it when I looked at the schedule. I'm actually looking at it again, but there's definitely a lot of interesting tracks that we're gonna be heading back to, and there's a couple new ones that should be pretty interesting once we get to them.
I agree with that too, especially Twin Ring Motegi. That's
Yeah,
gonna be a fun one.
yeah, that's in the playoffs, and that's a track that I'm not very familiar with myself at all. So
Neither am
that's one of
I.
those random tracks that's going to be interesting.
Now I've pushed Shane to try a different Daytona track for this season, and I want to see if maybe he'll be up for testing it out and seeing if it'll work good. You know how he made the snow one and stuff for this year.
Well, I do know about it, but I wasn't at the actual race. So I actually missed that race, so I really don't have
Yeah.
much to actually
Well,
share with that.
he made a snow version of Daytona because when we did it, it was around Christmas. Well,
Right.
I can only assume that we're only a couple of weeks out from the next season,
Hmm.
so it's not going to be at Christmas. So I'm trying to get him to use Daytona Rising, just kind of like an updated Daytona track. When I tested it offline, the tire wear was good. You know, you were wearing your tires, so it's not just going to be like fuel only pit stops. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's going to come to some real handling and strategy. So I feel like that could be a good potential for a track to use later in the season. But anyways, thank you so much, Dylan, for joining me. I know you've probably got some stuff to do, so thank you for dropping by and giving us your thoughts.
All right, sounds good. I'm looking forward to next season. Like I said, I don't know how much I'm going to be racing, but if everything kind of falls into place in my life where I'm able to actually come back and race this, I definitely will try to. So, like I said, just kind of soaking in this past season. Like I said, it's only been a couple nights, but just looking forward to it. I'll see what I can do and how much I can race with everybody, and it should be fun.
Alrighty, Dylan, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the racetrack.
Yep, sounds good.